and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the smack down. Against all odds, I will always prevail. So when you step to me, it's like hell in a cell.
Greetings and salutations, this is Christopher Daniels. I'm talking to my main man Delzinski right now. Any video game show, any video game channel, any YouTube channel called Vintage Shizzle is indeed hashtag Daniels approved.
Yo, alright guys, Delzinski here, and welcome to another We Talk, but on a Monday. But, however, I am joined by my partner in crime, Smack Talks. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, man. How's you? Have you managed to survive the birthday celebrations?
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to this present that you've got me. You said that you got me a present.
Well, I did, but then plans kind of changed.
What?
You see, I'd arranged for you to have a Skype session with your idol Sunny, but as you've made heard, she's been up to a few things this past week, and she had to cancel on us because other things are going on. I don't really know if I can go into much detail here because it's not exactly PG.
Are you talking about having one night in China?
Yeah, she's been on holiday.
Oh my god. I was really excited. I was thinking this was going to be something to do with Sting. No.
Sting? That guy, really?
No. Bagwell?
Nah. No one's even seen or heard of Bagwell.
So you haven't got me anything then?
Sorry. I tried to get Scott to, persuade her for something last minute, but not even Scott could get through to her.
I don't think anybody wants to at the moment by the ongoings of what's been reported. Apparently there's... Did you see, by any chance, well, you probably haven't, you must have heard of Sean's View, yeah? You must have heard of him.
On YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, he did, right? You should do this. He did a live reaction to the Sonny's special video. He did. He watched it. I mean, really? Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I could go through with that. I haven't seen it yet, so there's still a chance.
You should live stream it.
You've done a few reactions to trailers.
Can't do that. Oh my God. I can't believe he did it, to be honest with you. But it's really weird. He's like, at the end, he's like, I'll never be the same again. And I'm like, right.
You went all Chris Jericho?
Yeah, he did. He went full Chris Jericho. But he didn't go full Ric Flair because you can never go full Flair. All right, so
never full Flair. Not after last week.
No. The birthday was good. I've had a good one. Thanks for everybody that tweeted me and said happy birthday. Really appreciate that. Very nice of each and every one of my extended YouTube family to do that for me. So thank you. How's your week been? Obviously, apart from trying to get in contact with Sonny, which I thought would be easy from your perspective, but no.
Well, I thought it would be. I thought Scott would be the man, but he let us down at my time of need. I've had an okay week. I haven't been too well the last few days, but I'm over that. I'm ready for another We Talk Monday.
Wow, excellent. You're back in business then?
Back in business.
Good. So this week, obviously, well, we're on a Monday, so it's a bit different, but we're going to be talking, and we'll be back to normal going forward, but it's just obviously, last few weeks have been a bit crazy. But we're going to be talking about AJ Styles and the build with him and Chris Jericho, what's going on there. We're also going to be talking about Brock Lesnar, and now he seemingly picking up the feud with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, maybe even forgetting about the Wyatt family or giving them a pass, maybe. Ryback, did someone run out of tie-dye for him? Because it seems to be the case, as he is now dressing as Goldberg, but it had zero reaction, and for me it's a bit strange why he's gone down that route. Doesn't look too bad, but just kind of weird. Sasha Banks is working with Becky Lynch, and we're going to be talking about a few injuries, and as well, the fact that someone got released this week. A big star got released this week from TNA.
We also had 5 NXT releases as well.
Have we?
Did you miss them?
I missed them.
Wow, really?
We can cover them at the end, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, excellent. Cool. Brilliant. Enlightening me there, you see. Right.
Don't I do that every week?
Probably. Okay, let's talk about the first topic on the cards today. AJ Styles, or as, what's his name? Jeremy Borash would go, "Hey, Jay Styles." That's the best you're going to get from me from Jeremy Borash perspective, but there you go. So, AJ Styles, I think SmackDown is getting really good, by the way. I'm loving the commentary team. Jerry Lawler as a heel just works. And the show seems to be better than Raw at the moment. So it's all good as far as SmackDown goes. But AJ Styles had a bit of an altercation on Miz TV with The Miz. And subsequently led to a match on SmackDown in which Chris Jericho sat in the commentary booth and watched the match. And it was, I would say, quite a physical battle, to say the least.
With The Miz?
With The Miz.
It was indeed. It was very physical. And I think if anyone's seen the video on the WWE YouTube, you can see just how physical that was. I don't know if he quite knocked some teeth out of The Miz, but he definitely did some damage to his veneers. The Miz ended up with dental surgery.
Yeah, he definitely chipped away at those teeth. And it's quite interesting because I'm liking the fact that it feels like to me that AJ hasn't really changed his style too much. He might have maybe slowed down a little bit, but it feels like he's still going for the strong style. And that's something that the WWE locker room is kind of coming to terms with, because I thought he was quite physical against Jericho, but he went even harder against The Miz. And, well, I don't know what point he did it where he knocked his teeth out. It was either probably from the springboard punch or possibly from when he does that exchange of lefts and rights. He clobbered him a couple of times, to be honest. But I thought that so far the booking of AJ Styles has been very good. Him versus Jericho again, I'm looking forward to. I found it interesting as well, the fact on SmackDown when Jericho was trying to say, are you going to be one of the greats? He made a little joke. I don't think anybody got it, but he said, are you going to have your own show like JBL on the WWE Network? Which was like, who really wants one of those, to be honest? Who wants to be like JBL for fuck's sake? Nobody. But then he was just basically all building towards the fact that is AJ Styles good enough? He might be a decent competitor elsewhere, but is he good enough to live up to the expectation of the WWE? Which I think is still ridiculous. We all know that he's good, but it's a good way to build a storyline with AJ. And AJ's response to it was, I'm not great, Chris. I'm phenomenal. And I'll show you that when I beat you again in a match that's going to be on SmackDown. Now, would this match not have been better placed at Fastlane? Or are we going to see the old classic WWE of, 1-1 and then we go to a pay-per-view for the final battle?
Well, I think that's definitely the case that they're going for, yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, to get people watching SmackDown, but if they go down that route of give them a victory each, I think it kind of takes away from everything that you're building up Styles for, because you've got everyone coming out and putting them over. You've got Jericho doing it, you've got The Miz doing it. It's working, but you also need to show that in the ring, and he's only done that in a couple of matches so far. I think a match against Jericho here, if he was to lose, even if it's just, the counter of what happened last time to roll up for Jericho to win it, I think it maybe takes away from what you keep saying about Styles, because he's then picking up that loss quite early. I think coming in, he needs to have quite a long unbeaten run.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Is the WWE way to kind of have you won and then someone else wins it? I mean, typically Cena fashion, that's the way it goes. So would they do that with Jericho? I'd like to think that Chris Jericho here would see the bigger picture and say to WWE, because there's been a lot of talk of when people can speak up and speak out, and I think Jericho gets that opportunity, and I think possibly Jericho should say that I don't think that I need to win this match. I'm hoping that he might say that, because I think it would be better off that AJ Styles gets another victory, but I would have also said that this should have been at Fastlane as the second and only other match that these two have, and put on another great show. That would work for me. So, if he loses, he's already been built quite well, but again, it'd be very early to make him concede and have a defeat. Even if he gets and evens it out, it always annoys me that they do that 1-1 thing. It's not good. It's like Kevin Owens' scenario. Would have preferred if Kevin Owens had won both of those matches with John Cena. He didn't need to have the back and forth thing. And I think now with AJ Styles, they've got an opportunity to rectify something like that, and they could then mess this one up. So, I don't know. I'm kind of not happy if they do give Jericho the victory next week. Even if he cheats to win, you could think, well, that's not too bad, but do they need to do that?
I don't think they do. I think it's one of them situations where it's something that they tend to do, but they don't need to. And being on SmackDown, like you said, I think it takes away from it further. It's not even like they're stretching this out. We had the Owens and Cena matches, and they were so close together. I think it was at a time when we had pay-per-views like pretty much every other week. So those weren't spaced out, and that kind of took away from it as well. And with this, it's every other week again, but it's not even on pay-per-view, it's just on regular TV. So I don't think it has as much meaning as it would if this was taking place at 3 pay-per-views, and 3 big pay-per-views if it was, say, Fastlane and then into WrestleMania. But I don't know. I think it's probably going to be a case of what you said. Jericho's going to pick up the win here. It'll probably be some kind of victory using the tights, a roll-up, similar to how AJ won it, but a bit more heel tactics from Jericho. And then that'll lead into a final match where I think we will get a classic, but I don't think there's any need to rush into it. I think they're probably going to build up to the 3rd match at Fastlane, where really I would like to see the 2nd match take place at Fastlane and then get some awesome WrestleMania match between the two of them.
Do you think that Jericho's got any stroke to have a decision here and say, do you think he thinks in his head that he should win this match, or do you think that goes through his mind that he wouldn't mind taking a loss? Considering, we've look at Jericho over the past few years, he's kind of lost to people that I would have thought he should have beaten, whereas now I think that Styles is one where he should lose.
I don't know, really. I think he's probably got the stroke to do that, but I don't think he would. I think he would go with WWE's decision. And I think Jericho's probably in that same mindset of helping to put people over from what you've said and what he said on his talk show. But I think maybe WWE are the ones here that are maybe booking him a bit stronger than he has been over the past, because maybe they've realised that it's not working. So I think they're probably the ones that's booking this and saying, we're going to put you over Styles this time around, but then we'll let him go back over you. And that kind of just evens things out a little bit more.
And what is Jericho actually working at the moment? Is he working heel or face? Because it's kind of hard to tell. Like, SmackDown didn't feel like he was being necessarily a heel. He was all full of praise for AJ Styles. So, Jericho has that way about him that, like, when he's full heel, he can, like, just turn it on. But then there's, like, this Jericho where you're not quite sure, and you're waiting for Jericho to give you that big payoff when he finally does turn on his full heel tactics and stuff. Because at the moment, to me, it feels like he's being quite respectful. Yeah, he's gone eye to eye and nose to nose, and but what he said about Styles hasn't been insulting. He's called him kid once or twice, but he was all full of praise on SmackDown on commentary, from what I heard. Yeah,
he seems to be full of praise at the moment, but I think maybe this could be the turning point where we do get a proper heel Jericho, because at the minute he's kind of borderline. He switches between it depending on that situation, but he never quite goes full heel. I think if he gets beat off Styles this time, the frustration could maybe play out a bit, and then that'll lead to him attacking Styles, being disrespectful, and maybe that sets up like a 3rd and final match where we do get a proper AJ Styles against a heel Jericho.
Maybe, just maybe, WWE should take an idea from TNA's book and think to themselves,
I want to do that.
Well, you say that, but you think the way that they've booked EC3 over like a year where he never lost, and he beat massive guys, like you look at it, Kurt Angles, your Stings, and he went through anybody that got in his way, and yet even now he's picked up a loss, but he's never been pinned still. Maybe they should do that with AJ Styles, and this match should maybe be a DQ win for Jericho or something like that.
Do you think that would work though with AJ Styles being a face? Because I think that works a lot easier when you've got a heel.
Possibly, but EC3's now turned face, and he's still undefeated in the aspect of not being pinned. Now, I'd rather see AJ Styles just not be pinned. I don't really. If he gets pinned, even if it's cheating.
Hang on, did Matt Hardy not pin him?
No, last man standing match.
Ah.
So he's never been pinned still. He lost via being, couldn't get up. So, that's always the thing that people say, oh, I've never been pinned. That's the one of the bigger deals of the fact. I think to myself with AJ, that should be something they should think about a little bit here. Like, not if you get pinned, then it's like, oh, that's your loss there. If you get DQ'd or something like that, then it makes it a bit different.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. And at the end of the day, it's all about pinfalls.
Yeah. So if they take that route, then it might be playing it a bit more safe than giving him a loss and people going, oh, you made him lose straight away. Why have you done that? And to be honest, if they did make him lose, it would be that he's lost straight away. I know he's had a few matches, but still, it's quite early to lose in your WWE career when you've been billed as phenomenal.
It is. I think that's like the big thing here. I think in terms of taking a loss this early, I think that's what's going to hurt Styles, especially when they're doing what I think is a good job of sort of building him up. I know they haven't let him have much mic time to actually do it himself, but they're doing a good job of having like other established names actually putting him over. The Miz, Jericho, the commentary team. I think they're doing a good job. I'd like to see more from Styles on the mic and getting that opportunity himself. But I think the way that they're doing it now, it works at the same time. It gives them a chance to put him over without him putting himself over. And then that can come further down the line. It just keeps us waiting for it.
And what did you think of the introduction of the now renamed Calf Crusher, which was the Calf Killer, but I think we all knew that WWE wouldn't stick with the word killer in their in their moveset. So he's now got the Calf Crusher and he applied it to the Miz. I think it maybe adds another bit of uniqueness to AJ in terms of how he can get rid of people and get them out of there. So if worse comes to worse, then he can't hit the Styles Clash, he can go for this Calf Crusher. But as well, it kind of makes me think that might mean that the Styles Clash is going to be used more sparingly, hopefully, like in terms of like it's a bigger move when it does come off. So maybe they're looking at that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was looking forward to seeing him at the like Styles Clash on the Big Show, but I think this probably works a little bit better. I think name-wise, it makes much more sense. Like, I prefer the Calf Crusher to the Calf Killer. Like I said to you, you can crush a calf, you can't really kill it. So I think that makes sense. It's good to have him with a second option in there. And like you say, I think it's a case of we've seen the Styles Clash used and it hasn't looked too great because people seem to be a bit reluctant again to place and into position right. So I think this is a good option to have in there. And then, you know, as time passes, I'm sure we'll see the Styles Clash more. But this is a good alternative at the same time.
Yeah, and I think from AJ's perspective, I still think that he's kind of moving along in like first gear. I don't think he's really reached like maximum offense. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm watching him and I'm thinking, I think AJ Styles can still go up the gears quite a lot at the moment, and he's not really being pushed that far. So I think when we do get a big payoff for a big match, and I'm not saying Jericho's not a big match, but when it's on a bigger stage, I think we're going to get to see full, phenomenal AJ Styles in action, and I can't wait for that because you can see, you know, he's going for this strong style, and whether or not he'll be told to tone that down a bit, but you can see that I think Jericho is the sort of guy that's more suited to it. I think the Miz might have been caught a little bit off guard by how physical AJ actually is.
Yeah, I think so. I think that probably explains it. I think in terms of who he's gone up against, though, he hasn't really had anyone that can really push him and bring the best out of him. I mean, the Miz is good, Jericho's good, but Jericho is not as agile and as fast as he used to be. I think when we get someone that's younger in there, then someone like a Daniel Bryan would be perfect. I think that would be a perfect match. I think they'd be able to put on an absolutely amazing bout. That really shows just what AJ can do. But I think it's just pairing him with that right person. Just
because you mentioned Daniel Bryan, did you see that he's had a haircut?
I did. He's been sheared, hasn't he?
He has. So no more. He's not really a goat anymore. Like the beard's been trimmed down as well. Is that indicating that he's going to be out longer? In fact, that because he's not got his hair and his beard and his stuff like that, or is he going to come back just all trimmed, nicely trimmed? Like because I tend to think to myself that WWE are quite strict and stringent on the whole way that you look. Like Sheamus, for example. Daniel Bryan doesn't have the goat that he had when he went away now.
Well, I guess, but at the same time, maybe it's just that they're freshening him up a little bit so they can bring him back. I know I did read this week that Vince McMahon wants to bring him back to TV. I don't know how true that is, but that's apparently the rumour that's going around.
I kind of like Daniel Bryan more when he had the shaved head, to be honest. I kind of think he looked better when he had the shaved head and the beard. I thought he looked much better when he was that heel version, when he was like going around with, I think it was against maybe Punk and AJ was involved in stuff like that and the no movement. I preferred him like that. That's the Daniel Bryan that I liked the most if I had a choice.
I don't think I really had a preference between them. I think I'm just so used to him with long hair now. That's kind of how I expect to see him. So it was a bit weird when I seen him like with that like new look.
It's got to be better for him. Like, I mean, I can't believe anyone could quite enjoy having that look that he had at the time. It didn't look like, I don't know. I don't think I'd enjoy being told to look like that. Grow all your hair out, have a long beard, look like a homeless
I could see that being quite awkward, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's just, you know...
It's a lot to maintain.
It works with a Rowan and a Harper, but with Brian, it was like... It felt like, you've got to do this now, and it, you know, he started doing it when he was a heel, and it just kept on building and going. So, it'll be interesting to see what it's like when he comes back, or whether or not, like you say, he's out for a longer period, and he has to grow it back again. He just got tired of doing it whilst he's injured. Did he tell WWE? Oh, the rumours.
Well, that is the big question. I think if he hasn't, that's going to land him in maybe a bit more hot water than he's in at the moment.
Yeah, nice work there. Nice recovery there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. But yeah, I mean, if he didn't, if he hasn't told them, then he probably will be in a bit of trouble. But I think he's probably run it past them. But I'm just waiting to see what happens. And back to what we were talking about before we got on to Daniel Bryan. You know, you were saying about people to be paired up with AJ. One person that I thought would be interesting, which we've already had teased a little bit out of the Royal Rumble, was Kevin Owens. But I wanted to say to you, with AJ, with the strong style, I think Kevin Owens would be a good guy to go toe-to-toe with it. But you said, you know, you want someone that's got agility and speed and stuff. And potentially, Owens does have all that, even with his size. But I don't see the Kevin Owens at the moment that we saw that was pulling out all the stops against John Cena either. So, like, you know, I haven't seen Kevin Owens do that moonsault from the second turnbuckle, I think it is, and moves like that we kind of used to see him pull out the bag in matches against Cena. We saw him do that, I think, on Ring of Honor as well. We don't see that side of Kevin Owens at the moment either. So I'm worried that people are being toned down again, you know. So is Owens another person that, you know, could potentially step up, but then toning them down means we don't get the epic match that we all expect?
I think there's probably a little bit toning down here. I think part of it's probably because of the opponents that he's taking on, though. I don't think he needs to like use those moves all the time against every guy. I think it means more when you get it against like a top talent like a John Cena, and he just brings out every now and again.
Yeah, because I thought that maybe we'd get some of that against Dean Ambrose, but he never really... I know it was almost, you know, because it was like last man standing, but never really did any of those, you know, outstanding moves, you know? Like, I don't... So I'm just waiting, and I think that Owens has been toned down a bit, and I'm hoping that it doesn't happen to Styles as well.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't. I don't think they will. I mean, he hasn't showed off that many, like, moves that's too outrageous or over the top or anything. I mean, the moves that Owen showed off, like, I think they were a lot more extreme than anything that AJ has shown. So I don't think there's too much to tone down at the minute. I think it's more a case of adding some more spectacular looking moves in his arsenal when he goes up against bigger guys and, you know, more main event matches.
I really want to see that move that he does off the top rope that Styles does. I can't remember what it's called, to be honest with you, but it's like I'm not sure. I think it's like a corkscrew move. But I don't know what it's called. Someone will tell me via the comment section below. What is AJ Styles' finisher that he does off the top rope? Someone will definitely fill me in on that. But that move is awesome. So I want him to see
Frog splash.
It's not a frog splash.
He does a frog splash, though.
He does do a frog splash. I was surprised he did that. I thought he was going for that move that I was talking about, but he went for the frog splash instead. So
it was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a good one. It wasn't Eddie Guerrero-esque, was it? Or RVD. So, oh well. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Brock Lesnar. And has Brock Lesnar given Bray Wyatt a pass here? Has he just forgotten that it was the Wyatt family that tossed him out? I know Paul Heyman referenced it and said, you know, that Brock Lesnar took the Wyatt family to Suplex City, but didn't the Wyatt family have the last laugh? But it appeared that Brock Lesnar's business was Dean Ambrose focused this week on Monday Night Raw. And they very nicely stirred the pot, saying that Brock kind of was a bit of a wimp in the ring, not suplexing Dean Ambrose at point of when Dean Ambrose came out and got in his face. So, you know, and also, are you enjoying that Dean Ambrose at the moment? Is he really a lunatic still? Are we really classing him a lunatic, coming out and going face to face with Brock Lesnar and saying, I'm a lunatic, I don't care, I'll tell you to your face? is that a lunatic, or is that, again, Dean Ambrose not quite fitting into what he's meant to be still?
I don't think it really fits in with the whole lunatic thing. I mean, it's more stupidity, I guess, going up against the Beast and getting straight in his face. But then again, it's kind of weird the way that Brock doesn't seem to react to it. And it's weird that he's kind of let the Wyatts off with what they got away with. But at the same time, I think the Lesnar situation, to me, it's more a case of WWE saying, forget about that for now, because we're going to bring that back around at Fastlane. So just forget that ever happened. And then he's going to be in the main event, take out Lesnar, and that'll leave Ambrose and Reigns. So I think that'll get Brock out of the WrestleMania match and put Reigns and maybe Ambrose into it. But I'm sure that's what they're doing at the minute. That's probably why they took on the Big Show this week. And I think that's probably just being done to kind of pass the time and make everyone just completely forget about it. I'm sure they think we're totally stupid.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't do that. I mean, it's fine because we know that probably it's going to come full circle and something's going to pay off. But I really would like them to not think that we're thick and that we forget things. I'd rather them kind of, they could have just had something this week that teased that that's still an issue. And they just didn't. Heyman just kind of squashed it and said that he took him to Suplex City, and that was all he had to say on the matter. Well, I would have liked to have said something like, our paths will cross or something. From Bray Wyatt's perspective, it would have been better. I think Lesnar, Lesnar should still have the hump about the situation. He got eliminated from the Royal Rumble. It was meant to be his Rumble this year. So, yeah, and with the Ambrose stuff, I mean, I quite like this whole stirring that they're doing with Stephanie, planting the seed between the brothers and then saying, you're not forgetting the Beast is in there as well. And then on SmackDown, we saw more of the issues becoming when in the tag team match where Ambrose and Reigns didn't always see eye to eye, missing moves, etc., etc., etc. But I think Brock needs to be still more, take no shit scenario with him. He seems to be letting people off a lot more, and I don't like that. That's not Brock. Remember when Brock, just went nuts that week after he lost his belt, and he came out, and I think he was F5 in cameramen, wasn't he, at the time, or something like that. He took
out everyone.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from the Lesnar that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, why isn't he still that angry? And if my, I could be wrong, I do forget things from time to time, and plus, I have had a birthday, so, I have had quite a lot of alcohol intake this weekend, but, if my mind serves me right, Brock Lesnar's never actually had his proper rematch yet still, has he?
He hasn't. I think that was why Heyman tried to get him into the WrestleMania match in the first place.
So we're saying that Brock has just kind of sat back after he had that bit when he got suspended and couldn't come back. But since then, he has really kind of taken his foot off the pedal when it comes to the WWE Championship. And at the Royal Rumble, he was screwed out of it by the Wyatt family.
Hang on. Did Lesnar not have a match against Seth Rollins when The Undertaker returned? Was that not his championship rematch?
Did he? How did that
go? Was that when everyone said Rollins couldn't defeat Lesnar, and then The Undertaker returned, the lights went out, and we never got a conclusion to the match?
See, yeah, but then you would say that's not really... He's still owed a proper rematch, isn't he? Because he's always been pissed about the fact that he's never had that proper rematch. He never was pinned for the belt as well. He's got a huge grievance here, regardless, and yet he just doesn't seem to feel like it's not the Lesnar that he should be. I think
it's definitely not. It's completely different. The Lesnar that we're kind of used to and want to see.
Likes to smile a lot more. He seems to just be like, this is a joke. Someone joking with me here. What's this lunatic doing here? What's he doing in
Happy Lesnar.
Yeah. It just... when you said that, I just kind of think of Adam Sandler playing Brock Lesnar and Happy Gilmore. I don't know why. But... I'd like to see the aggressive Lesnar, the one that was just, fuming when he lost the belt in the first place. I want to see that Brock, and I'm hoping we're going to get to see that Brock at Fastlane, but I don't know. And even if the Wyatts interfere, I want to see Lesnar kind of just go nuts, kick all their asses. The match is still ongoing, and and then maybe he loses, and he's still pissed off about it. I really don't want to see Lesnar just be defeated and leave, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think if something happens this time, then he has to really take it out on the Wyatts. I don't think he will on the night. I think it'll be a case of the Wyatts, really take it to town on Brock Lesnar and really take him out, which takes him out of the match entirely. He leaves it down to Ambrose and Reigns. But I think then the following night on Raw, he's got to really be out for retribution and we'll get that raging beast. That then, you probably still won't get revenge then, but I see that taking it into WrestleMania. And I'd probably say that's where his match at WrestleMania is going to be this time around.
It's going to be really interesting to see at Fastlane how good this match is in comparison to, let's say, the match, I think that was the triple threat, the Royal Rumble, when we had Rollins, Lesnar, and Rollins, Lesnar, and Cena, because that match was amazing. So
it was.
So you kind of expectation-wise, it should be that good if Ambrose and Reigns can get up for the occasion, because we know Lesnar can do the job. So it's interesting to see if they can kind of live up to that. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
I think they will do. I think it'll be good to have the three people in there. I think it helps a lot because, Lesnar, he tends to look quite knackered, like 30 seconds into a match. And as soon as he starts hitting them suplexes, I think having three people in there, it gives him a break and it sort of gives a better pace into the action because you kind of just have him suplexing people constantly. I think you need something in between that just adds a little more to it, adds a bit of storytelling. And you've also got that sort of Ambrose and Reigns thing, which I think has to come to a head this time because it's gone on for so long where it's been a case of will or won't they turn on each other. I think now is the time that it really has to happen. And it gives you another option for WrestleMania. I think whatever happens, it's going to have to see them two face off if they do turn on each other. But then if Bray Wyatt comes in and gets involved with Lesnar and you set them two up, it then leaves like the Triple H match against someone. Do you fit then Reigns and Ambrose in there? I think maybe we could say a triple threat, but I don't know. I just hope they do turn on each other because I do want to see something happen there and get some resolution. I don't want to carry on for the next few months and still be sort of seeing them on TV as brothers, but teasing that something's not quite right and one of them might turn on the other one.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right when it comes to Lesnar. Like, I just remember from that Rumble match, the explosiveness of Brock when he was like, he's put through the announce table, and then all of a sudden, when everyone thought it was over, boom, here comes the beast, and it was like he was on fire again. So I think that he does need those breaks because it gives him the opportunity to then come back in, all guns blazing. So I'm hoping that maybe they're going to go down that route with the Wyatts, that they take him out and he gets back in it. So it gives us an opportunity to see something similar, and that's what I'm hoping for. But Ambrose, to me, as much as I was hoping that I'd get a swerve at the Rumble and he won it, I'm not really sold on his actual character at the moment. So I think that if they really wanted to shock us all, I think that the Ambrose heel turn is still well up there at some point to be taken of. So if they do that, I think that could help Dean Ambrose because I feel he's a little bit lost at the moment. He's not really a lunatic. He's just kind of, he's just kind of there.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's not a lunatic. He's mild. There's not much to him, is there?
Yeah, it's like when you look at like what he's done in the past, and you think lunatic. Like,
but even some of that though, it wasn't quite lunatic-y, was it?
No, well, like when he brought the doll out. Do you remember he brought that doll out? It's like I don't know what he was doing, like kind of like just throwing it about, like he needs to take some tips from like a Mick Foley or something like that. Get psychotic, Psycho Sid. There's plenty of people out there he could kind of base himself off, but he hasn't really got that. Look, but the best one for me, if he took into any consideration, is like a Brian Pillman, like a loose cannon. That's what I think he should become. But
I can't see him like bringing out a gun or anything like that.
Not gun, not to that extreme. But the whole way that Brian Pillman carried himself was always like he's always on edge. Like you think to yourself, what's he going to do? When he used to get in the ring, he used to be nuts. Like you weren't quite sure what Pillman was going to do. Even when he was with the Hart Foundation, he was almost like it's the bit on the side that wasn't quite trustworthy enough. And that's the bit that I find that Ambrose is just too relaxed, too chilled out. He's just basically there, and he's like, he doesn't come across as a lunatic. He just comes out relaxed. That's what I find.
That's kind of the problem, and that's why I said he was mild, because he doesn't go all out. I think it is quite hard when you've got PG programming, though, because you can't go like the way that we used to with like Brian Pillman and people. So it's kind of, hard to get that balance in there. I think it's one of them things where you're booking him as a lunatic, but you've got to really have a plan of how you're going to put him across that way. And at the moment, I don't think they've really got a plan.
Yeah, on a level of like being a lunatic, he's a bit like a lemon and herb Nando's, isn't he?
That's quite a good way to put it.
Yeah, you know, you kind of you want a medium, you know, you want that, and then you kind of want him to then go up to like the black bottles. I don't even know what the black bottles are called, but they're fucking hot. Yeah, so that's what I want him to be. I want him to be on the black bottle. That's where I want him to be. I can't believe we're grading wrestlers on Nando's now, but we've just done that. So,
well, you are. It's a brand new rating system. How much did you have to drink? Did you have a Nando's as well? Is that where this has come from?
Cheeky Nando's.
Flashbacks.
You've got to have a cheeky Nando's, ain't you? I mean, and get your card stamped and everything. Don't even do card stamping anymore. I've got a loyalty card, so you know.
Shocking.
Amazing. So that kind of brings us to the end of the. What do you guys think? You know, let us know about the comment section below what you're thinking about Dean Ambrose. Is he a lunatic or is he just a lemon and herb Nando's? That's the question right now. And now we're going to talk about something that I know Paul's been waiting for, to be honest with you. Paul's been waiting to talk about Ryback, haven't you?
I guess so.
What do you mean you guess so? I mean, Ryback's got a new attire, Paul. I mean, he's lost the tie-dye. He's lost the singlet. He's now just pants and all. Black pants as well.
I think it may be a case of, like you said, he's actually lost them. I don't know why you would go to trunks. Why would you spend so long trying to get away from Goldberg chants? To now dress as Goldberg? Why?
He's just fucked off the RVD gimmick. It's like, I can't be dealing with that anymore. I can't do the 5-star frog splash. I can't do the Rolling Thunder, but I can do a jackhammer. So maybe I've got to go down the Goldberg route.
It's crazy. I don't see why you would do that.
I don't think it looks that bad. It's not like, to me, it's not like I think, oh my God, what have you done? This looks awful. It's not like any extreme.
It doesn't look bad, but it just makes him generic. Like, at least when he had the singlets, it was something different and he stood out a bit more. Now it's just like, why?
And he's also doing the CM Punk knee in the corner as well. Have you noticed that? He's definitely sending a cheeky insult to Punk there. He's definitely saying, look what I can do, mate. I've learnt this.
I seen that the other week. I was quite surprised. I kind of seen it. I thought, you know, he's probably doing that to like just send a little subtle message to CM Punk. It's strange to watch, to be honest. Any Ryback match is strange to watch. If
they go to Chicago, I would love him to do a GTS. That would be amazing.
It would be awesome if he would. I can't see it. I don't know. Would you trust Ryback?
I don't trust Ryback with anything. I mean, you can't even trust him with his own attire because he's fucking lost it. So, yeah. Or we could just call him Black Pants, like we got blue pants in NXT. We just call him Black Pants.
Black trunks.
Black trunks. I don't know. I didn't think it looked bad. I thought his match against Rowan was all right on SmackDown because he's actually wrestled in it now. I don't get it. Like, did he suggest this, or are they trying to go down milk the Goldberg route? Because no one chanted Goldberg, from what I heard, unless it was a really weak chant.
I said it's on SmackDown, so there's a big chance it'll get like heavily edited out. But if you imagine Raw pay-per-view when it's a live crowd, I'm sure that'll be like constantly chanted. And like you mentioned, Chicago. If he dresses like that in Chicago, that's all we're going to hear.
But his attire, like his old one, wasn't the problem with Ryback. His attire wasn't the problem.
Ryback was the problem.
If he'd gone these black pants or black trunks, whatever you want to call them, if he'd gone these black trunks and he turned heel, it would make sense. But he hasn't actually changed his gimmick. He's just changed his attire.
But
define it. Why?
There's not much to it, is it? Like, you would think just taking away that thing that people like about him would be like a good point to turn him heel, but
They stripped him of everything now. There's nothing to like about Ryback. His attires weren't bad, you know. So there's nothing to like about him.
They're pretty good. Maybe RVD's coming back and they don't want them too similar.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Why would you do it? That's what I've come to the conclusion of, is why.
I'm completely clueless to it. People should let me know in the comments. Maybe they'd like got a bit more info on this than us.
Yeah, does anyone know?
It doesn't make any sense.
Does anyone out there have all his like singlets? Does anyone have them? Has someone robbed him? Have you got them? Can you send them? You know, can you give them back? I don't know. Does he want to be Goldberg? I don't know what else I can think of. Someone must know.
Maybe just give them away. Like, he's gone to a restaurant, he hasn't got his wallet with him. He's just like, take these, like, just feed me more.
Take these from the big guy. That's all he can say. That's all he can say. Oh, God. Maybe he ate them.
Maybe feeling peckish.
I don't know. Let us know by the comment section below what you think of Ryback's new attire. We are thoroughly confused here on We Talk. Something else I'm confused about is how did we go to the situation of Sasha and Becky becoming friends-ish, kind of, maybe.
Friends?
Yeah, you know, frenemies, whatever you want to call them. Frenemies.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of going down that route again. Not a big fan of it, though.
Not a big fan of it. I kind of thought that they could have easily got around the route of... I actually thought the interaction between the two on SmackDown was good. I liked that. It's quite nice to hear Becky Lynch actually speak for once. Don't remember the last time she was given a decent opportunity to really, you know, talk properly, but quite enjoyed hearing her on the mic. It doesn't, to me, is it just me? I don't feel like I've heard her speak very much.
She does on SmackDown quite a bit. She usually has a backstage segment with Renee.
It was good.
On Raw, I don't think she really gets too much mic time.
Yeah, it was good to hear, and I thought the interaction between the two was good. I'd kind of just preferred Sasha just sacked off Team Bad and just said, look, I need to go my own way. I don't really want to see a feud between them. I don't mind Naomi, to be honest, but I just want to do away with the whole Team Bad in general. Because I don't
You're not
think
a fan of Unity?
I don't know. I like that Biggie tweeted about, you're supposed to be family, or something like that. That he put out a tweet in the week. That was good. And I also saw as well, did you see that tweet from Biggie, just off topic? Did you see the tweet from Biggie to Matt Hardy? Because Matt Hardy put out, someone asked him about New Day, and he replied something like, I'm the champ or something, I don't need to deal with blah, 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 blah. He said something. He was just working it. He was just being a heel. And Biggie replied something like, I can't believe he said something like, along the lines of, beefs between superstars at rival companies, I don't do that thing, or something like that. But I tend to think that Biggie maybe got the wrong end of the stick. It was just Hardy working his heel gimmick. He wasn't beefing.
Yeah, I didn't see it. But I've seen Matt Hardy tweeting like quite a few things in character.
He's just being a proper good heel at the moment, I think. I like the way Hardy's gone. I always knew this was in him because he's done it in Ring of Honor. But I think that Biggie, I don't know. I just kind of thought Biggie maybe would have been better just not replying to it, because it made it look like to me that he just didn't understand what Hardy was doing. He probably doesn't watch TNA, that's probably why.
Well, that's probably why. It's one of them things where you get people like that, like, who are happy to tweet in character, and then you've got other people that just completely go the opposite way and just break kayfabe. And I think in this situation, he probably hasn't realised. Maybe he's just thought he's taking a shot at him, but I don't know, it was a strange one.
Yeah, and I mean, back to what we were talking about in terms of Team Bad, like, did you want to see like a little mini feud between them now? Is that something that you're up for? I thought we were just going straight into a Becky and Sasha thing, but they've wrestled so many times. That's kind of boring to see as well.
I don't really want to see it, but at the same time, I'm glad that they're doing it, and they're doing it so quick. And I hope it's over quick, because we're seeing the PCB stuff go on for so long, and it was dragged on so much longer than it needed to be. So I'm hoping that this time they've kind of learnt lessons from that, and they're just going to push this through. And hopefully they're just going down the route of getting, you know, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky all together so they can have that match at WrestleMania. And I think this is the good way to go about it. Just get rid of the team stuff and just quickly move on.
Yeah, I think that. And I think as well they need to, if they do start having matches with Sasha and Becky, they need to let them have their own match. I don't want to see them toned down, because that's when it goes wrong. I haven't felt that any match on the upper roster has felt as good as anything that we've seen on NXT so far. That's annoying. That's worrying to me.
I totally agree with you. I don't think it's been anything like NXT.
It's all right.
At the same time, you've had kind of a mixture of like WWE and NXT wrestlers going up against each other. I think this would be the one time where we're getting 3 NXT women finally getting that chance to put on that NXT type match and not worry about, someone else that they're not used to working with. So I think that'll just add to this being like such a much better match. I'm just hoping that's the way that they're going, and that is the match that we're going to get.
Yeah, and I mean, at WrestleMania, you'd hope if they do it at WrestleMania, that gives them the leeway to kind of push the boat out a bit more, go for it a bit more. Like, don't, the grandest stage of them all, just go for it would be my advice if I was Triple H. Just move Vince into
absolutely.
another room.
I think of all the times to do it, like that's the time to do it. That's like a good excuse just to go that extra mile because it is WrestleMania. It's that one chance you're probably going to have this triple threat match.
And what do you think of Naomi's chances now? Because it was more or less really them two hanging off of Sasha Banks. Now they've got to do it on their own. Are they going to be a force in the Divas division? I hate saying that, but, Divas division.
I don't think they will. I think Naomi's come on quite a lot over the last couple of years. But because of the talent that's there, I don't see her getting anywhere near that championship. I think it's going to be between these 3 and Paige for like the foreseeable future, and then Bayley when she comes up. I think for people like Naomi, for Brie, who got a surprise win on Raw, I think their time's maybe past now. It's going to pass on to sort of the NXT women coming through.
Yeah, you mentioned Brie picking up that win. Was that a good move to do? Was that clever, or was that nice surprise? But why did you do it?
Well, it was a really strange one. I didn't expect to see it, but at the same time, it was a roll-up. So I think you can usually discount them.
They're trying to put a wedge between the flares. Are they trying to make us think that was Rick's fault in an element? Because it looked like she was looking at her dad like, why didn't you help?
Yeah, well, it kind of. I think that probably plays into it as well. I don't know. It was still an odd one to see Brie actually win a match.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's not something that we're used to, but I can get away with that. I mean, like the roll-up, it was all right for me. I think give Charlotte a bit of doubt as well going into this because she's been like on top of everyone as of late.
I was going to say to you as well, I haven't really caught NXT in a while, really. I try to, but there's just so much wrestling on, and I just kind of binge watch it. When I need to watch it, I just watch all the episodes. I was really surprised to hear that Carmella is like number 1 contender for the NXT title, which I've seen Carmella. She's not too bad in the ring, and I really like her, but I was surprised that she's been pushed to that level. I thought Asuka would be the next one to go, and I think she beat Asuka as well a little while ago. So interesting booking down there at the moment.
It is, but I think that's the good thing about NXT. It kind of keeps things fresh and keeps you with some surprises because you all think it's going to go one way, but then it goes a different way. And it's good that they're doing that because it's not like they've forgotten Asuka. It's not like in the main roster where you've got the Divas division and they're all going for the title and anything else is kind of subpar because you've still got Asuka and you've got the Emma and Dana Brooke stuff. So it is different in NXT. You've got 2 different sections and they're going with Carmella and I think she's come on like such a lot. I kind of only seen her as being a manager in the past, but then over the last few months I think she's really proved herself and now it's kind of cool to see her actually getting this chance to go for the women's championship.
Yeah, I think that she's quite marketable in terms of like her and you've got Big Cass and Enzo, so I think that there's opportunities for all of them there when they do eventually move up. And I think, like for me, I still think that if they can flip away from this diva stuff a bit, you can have someone like Asuka who could be like if you wanted to bring back the women's division, I think that she is the one. Really, I think that she's the best wrestler that they have. I think she's better than Sasha Banks.
I don't know if I would go that far because they're completely different styles. Like Asuka's much more of a strike wrestler.
Yeah, but that's what I like to see. I don't know what it is about watching her wrestle, but I always just feel like
it's not so much wrestling though, is it?
Yeah, but she does go for submission holds. I just find that she's like anything can happen with her. Like it feels like to me that because she kind of comes across like a lunatic if you think about it.
Maybe she should get paired up with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, maybe she should teach Dean Ambrose how to be a lunatic because that's the way she comes across. But I don't know what it is. Like, I know what you're saying that they've got different styles, but I just like that. Her style feels legit, much like an AJ Styles. Her style just feels like smash mouth in your face, and that's what I like about it.
It's good. It's just, I don't know, I think there's two really different sides to it. And between the two, I prefer the actual, the wrestling telling the story like we're getting with Sasha and her matches that she's had. With Asuka, it is different, but I still enjoy it.
Because you might get that again when you have someone like Nakamura go to NXT.
Possibly.
You're going to be getting that more hard-hitting, striking style again. So,
but would you bring that to the main roster when she moves up?
Don't know. That's the style I want to see on the main roster. And I know storytelling included, but I like to see that more physical approach. And I think otherwise, it's like you say, it's wishy-washy diva shit, and no one really cares for that. The storylines, yes, but not the wishy-washy diva stuff.
Well, yeah, in terms of the divas matches that we've seen like over the last few years, I agree with you. It's just, I don't know, I think we're always going to get a mixture. I don't think we're ever going to get full NXT. Even when we get full division up there, I think they're still going to dial it back a bit.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. The only person that can get away with it is Kelly because she's well fit.
Who is well fit?
Kelly. You remember Kelly, don't you?
Did I miss something? I missed what you said there because the mic cut out. So all I heard was Kelly. I don't know how we got to Kelly.
I didn't say Kevin Kelly. I said Kelly. That would be really wrong if I said that Kevin Kelly is really fit.
Hang on. Didn't you say Kevin Kelly is really fit?
No, I did not say that. I said that Kelly is really fit, not Kevin Kelly. Like, no, there's no way.
Hang on. What's wrong with Kevin Kelly? You might cut out and then all of a sudden you're taking shots at Kevin Kelly. Poor guy.
Oh, God. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move away from this Kevin Kelly kind of scenario that we're on here. And hopefully Smack Talks Mike will come back to life on us. And let's well, I'm hoping it will, because I want you to enlighten me on these 5 injuries that we've got. Oh, no, not 5 injuries, 5 releases, wasn't it?
We do have 5 releases. 2 of them were lesser known names, so I don't know those off the top of my head. I think they were more developmental releases. Right. But we had 3 main NXT roster releases.
Oh, I know one of them. I do know one of them. Just saying.
Well, I'll go through them. I think you probably know the big one, the biggest name from it. We had Marcus Louis.
I don't know this one.
That was one of them. I don't know if he's been on TV too much lately. We had Sylvester Lefort.
I don't know this one.
Really? And then we had Bull Dempsey. Bull Fit.
That was surprising, really, because they invested some time to get this new gimmick going, and then he's gone. It
was a surprise when I heard he'd gone. I did see people commenting on a video I done yesterday saying that he asked for his release. So I don't know if that's the case. There was no news out at the time when I looked into it. But it probably makes sense. I did see that he tweeted out thanking everyone for his time there. Maybe he just sees that, there's a lot of NXT talent coming in, and he realizes that maybe the writing's on the wall, that he's not going to get the call up when you've got all those other guys in there. He's just going to be a bit part player. And I think, to be honest, when I seen all these guys coming in, I knew myself that there was going to be quite a lot of NXT releases coming up in the near future. And I think maybe some of the talents maybe realise that now. And if it's not a case of WWE cutting ties with them and trying to lower the roster, instead of trying to work around so many, I think it's going to be a case of these guys realising it themselves, and maybe asking for the release in advance.
Well, yeah, and I think that should be the same, thought process for the main roster, because you got a lot of guys that really should be on the verge of moving up. So then, you need to review the main roster, because there's a lot of guys there that aren't utilised at all. So I can see with the more that Triple H signs these people, that the more likely you're going to start seeing releases. And Bull Dempsey, I kind of think to myself that he was better before, when he was a bit of a, he was just a bit of a fighter, and not so much the Bull Fit. The Bull Fit gimmick was what it was. It was a gimmick, and that really probably won't have much of a place when they're signing people like the Bullet Club, and you've got Nakamura, and yeah, it just becomes overcrowded. Bull Dempsey, if you went with a more straight line gimmick, he'd probably fit in rather well in TNA. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head a scenario that you could do, and you've just seen Tyrus go pair up with Matt Hardy. Now, if TNA was smart and they wanted to get a bodyguard for EC3, a new one, why not go and get Bull Dempsey?
Well, I think that's a good opportunity for him. I think there's a lot of people speculating. I think it always happens, though, when people are released from WWE, that they will just inevitably go to TNA. I think in terms of Bull Dempsey, it's a good fit. If EC3 is looking for a new bodyguard, then what better person to bring in than Bull Dempsey? He's got that build. He's got the character. He's well known. I think that could work.
And I know, obviously, like probably wouldn't be the most amazing match, Tyrus versus Bull Dempsey, but on the other hand, in terms of storyline and stuff, it gives him a good starting point in TNA, and I think that's the sort of guy that TNA should be looking to sign. They should be looking. It pisses me off when people go down the route of, oh, he's a WWE reject. Not necessarily. Like, I understand that when TNA were going and getting, like, your Hogans of it, and then the people can make that point. And when they signed, like, big names, and it was like, well, ex-WWE guy. But when a guy comes out of, like, an NXT scenario, and it's just the fact that, like, Solomon Crowe as well, if TNA were to sign him up, I think that's a good signing, because I think that they're guys that you should be building the TNA company around. Like, they just, they signed Mike Bennett, and, if you get the talent there, like a talent pool and they've already got a decent talent pool, but guys that they can build off of and mould as their own, much like they did with EC3, because he was Derek Bateman, that's what their company could be. Their company could be really good with those sort of stars. They don't need all these huge names. They've already got a couple of them. Just keep them and keep building your roster and make it good again.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I mean, like, it's daft to see people just put that label on someone as being a WWE reject. None of them names you would call a reject anyway. They're all like legendary names in the industry when you've got people like Hogan and stuff. People like NXT, I think they deserve the chance anyway. I think it's good to see them going through. You shouldn't be calling them sort of rejects. It's good to see those guys get a second chance, and it's good that they have got like another company that they actually go to and make a name for themselves if they couldn't and they were struggling in WWE or NXT.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that people always forget. People are quite happy to just complain and bitch on TNA, but if TNA weren't around, there's a lot of people who wouldn't have a job. So I'd like to see that. I think that off the top of my head, we just maybe booked it, that potentially Bull Dempsey could make a nice fit with EC3. So I might be tweeting that a bit later to EC3 and see if we get any sort of response. Maybe we should all like jump on my retweet bandwagon, get it going. Come on, lads, we could get a reply here, couldn't we? So,
I wanted to feel tweet though in character like Matt Hardy.
He's a face now, so he's got to be nice.
Oh, he's got to be nice.
It's got to be nice.
Doesn't want to turn you against him.
Exactly. I've had a reply from EC3 before about something, but I can't remember what it was. But the best one ever, the best one that I did tweet, I think, which was funny, was when I went to TNA the year before, and MVP came out in a singlet, which was a Man United kit. And I tweeted the picture at him, and I put something like, "Why did you come as a full kit wanker?" and to the London shows, and he replied back something like "fair play." So I thought that was pretty good. That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
And MVP being a good sport as well. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, look, Bull Dempsey, I thought it was a bit of a surprise, but I can kind of see the reasoning why. So. Was that our lot? Was that all our releases wrapped up?
Well, we've got one more, but I'll let you take the stage on this one because this is from your realm, TNA.
Yeah, well, I don't know all the ins and outs as to what went down, but it seems that Awesome Kong had some sort of altercation with Rebby Sky, which is Matt Hardy's wife, and I just recorded my Impact review earlier today about Rebby Sky, and she comes across as not a very likable person. So I don't know what went off, but apparently these two have had history. I did do a little bit of reading up on this, and I think Awesome Kong in the past has made references about Rebby Sky. Rebby Sky, I think, said something about Sid Vicious, and she went back and said, "Don't say things about legends," and it all kind of spilled from there. And then I think obviously they crossed paths again in TNA, but I think that Awesome Kong leaving TNA is a really big problem because. TNA have got a pretty shoddy, and when you think about TNA, their Knockouts division was really good. Still got good people there, but it's pretty threadbare at the moment. So losing Kong, who was like the biggest draw that they had, I think, bar Gail Kim, no Taryn Terrell anymore, is a massive loss. I'm surprised that they didn't try and rectify this or try and come up with something. But I don't know what she did. So if she punched, Rebby, or she did something, then she probably warranted a release. But
Well, I've heard a few different things. I've heard like that, they had heated exchanges backstage. Another one saying that she had her pinned up against the wall. Another one that hit her. And then another thing saying that this was all done in front of her son as well. And TNA conducted this investigation. They didn't say what actually happened, so it's still just down to these rumors. But they did conclude that what did go down was only fair to release Kong over.
Yeah, I will reiterate my stance that Rebby Sky doesn't look like a sort of person that you can like easily. I just don't like watch her. I know she's probably milking it on as a character on TV, but I don't know. She's not really playing much of a character. She's just playing Matt Hardy's wife. So
she could just be a great actress, couldn't she?
Could be. But obviously she rubbed Awesome Kong up the wrong way, and I think it's a massive loss for TNA. And I think that if they did release her, they probably released her reluctantly because they can't afford to lose those sort of people. She's a big draw because she was different to everyone else. Opens the door maybe to WWE. Do I really want to see her go there after they botched it the first time? Possibly not.
Nah, I don't want to say I go back there. I think the first time around, it was so weird. I still don't know what happened because we seem to get so much promise in the promos and things, and they had a plan for her. Then there was that awful sort of pregnancy thing with the Bellas cutting a terrible promo that was. I really don't know how they managed to put that across on TV, especially with everything they've done since about the bullying stuff. It just seems a bit crazy to go back and see now. And I think they just ballsed it up so much that it's going to be hard to bring her back. I just don't see it happening. I don't think they need to either. I think the way that they're going now with Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, those type of wrestlers, I don't think they need to try and fit an Awesome Kong in there. I think if they need a large dominant woman, they've got Nia Jax. And she might be a bit green, but I think she's got a lot of potential. And I think she's someone that should give the nod over someone like Awesome Kong coming in, or a Karma.
Yeah, because I think a few people were saying that potentially they could go with Nia Jax versus Kong at some point. And but
would you really want to see it though?
No, not really. I think what would be probably best is if TNA can give her a breather. We don't really know how long. I've heard rumours that Matt Hardy could be leaving at some point anyway. So I mean, it could be.
Well, Jeff Hardy's just signed a new contract last week. So I kind of figured if he's staying around, Matt will probably do the same.
Yeah, so, with the rumours and things like that, it might just need breathing space, and then at some point she can make a return, or she could go Ring of Honor, or she could go, overseas. She's still got plenty of opportunities in her, but, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit disappointed in it, because I think that she was a good one, but I was tired of seeing Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, so, yeah. So, disappointing, really. The only other thing we've got to mention is Finn Balor picked up an injury as well.
He did.
We're not quite sure.
Were you surprised with his finisher, though?
You've got an issue with his finisher. I don't really see an issue with it. I think he's always done the double foot stomp. So,
well, I don't have an issue with his finisher. What I mean is, when you've got someone going to the top rope and they're doing that so much and coming down on the ankles, it's going to take its toll. Especially when you're doing it in every single match. That was one of the reasons why I said, the other week, he needs a second finisher. He's got the Bloody Sunday, but he doesn't really use it.
He's got plenty of moves that he could use. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, you could save the double foot stomp for big matches, much like the Styles Clash or something like that. But he's got plenty of moves in his locker. I mean, he used to do loads in Japan. He's got that invert, whatever it is, death drop move that he does. He's got a couple of moves in his arsenal. He just doesn't use any of them. He just goes for the sling blade and then the double foot stomp. So, I don't think that the double foot stomp is a problem for him. I think he knows by now how to deliver that move, but it would definitely benefit him to have a couple of other moves that he could use so he doesn't always have to go for that in lower matches. That's for sure, yeah.
Well, I think it's just one of their moves where, you'll get a repetitive injury after a while when you're doing that same thing and you're always coming down on your legs. So I think it's good to kind of mix it up, give them a couple of different finishes. Like we talked about before about the Calf Killer and the Styles Clash, it's good to have two different ones that you use, whereas Balor always seems to go for that foot stomp. And I think looking at it looks like quite a devastating move when he does hit it really well. So why not keep that for the big matches and use something else? It can be like when we've talked about the curb stomp getting taken away, and then in the future we can bring that in as a move that's used to really put someone away when like Seth Rollins is really having a problem and struggling to put someone away. I think the footstomp, it could be a time to maybe take that away if it's going to cause injuries and keep him out, and he can maybe use it back again on a sort of big occasion in the future when I think it'll mean a lot more.
You could just use the double foot stomp when he's a demon, to be honest with you. That would probably work better.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I think that, like, you know, they just, it's really difficult with WWE. Sometimes they give you too much, sometimes they give you too little, but they can never find the middle ground with a lot of this stuff. So it's annoying.
It is, and I don't think it's going to change.
No. So yeah, Finn Balor, we're not really sure how long he's out for, I don't think, but have to wait and see how he gets on. Hopefully he's going to be fit for whatever comes his way next, because I'm pretty sure they would be planning to move him up soon. So
I think so. I think come like Raw after WrestleMania, I think that's probably when we're going to see him. But who knows with this injury? We don't know how long he's going to be out, and he's on crutches at the minute, so it's not a good sign.
Nope, not at all. So that kind of wraps up this week's We Talk. Let us know via the comment section below on all the topics that we've had today. AJ Styles, we were talking about Brock Lesnar. Is Dean Ambrose really a lunatic? Ryback, has anybody seen his singlets anywhere? Please let us know the whereabouts of those. What do you think of Sasha Banks and Becky coming together again? And obviously the injuries and the releases. Bull Dempsey, could he go TNA? Would that work? And would Awesome Kong go back to WWE? You'll have to let us know. Smack Talks, have you got any shameless plugs for us?
Well, if you want to check out the Smack Talks channel, then we've got a couple of community showcases. They returned this week. We kind of went to New Japan. We've been showcasing some Japanese wrestlers. We had Okada from Ring of Honor. We've also got a look at NXT's new signing, Shinsuke Nakamura. So he's up there. We've got This Week in Wrestling, the latest round of the 2K King of the Ring. And then if you want to check out Regeneration X, next week Elle's going to be releasing Uncharted. And I've been playing through Life is Strange. So we're going to delve into that.
Life is Strange. Sounds like the norm to you, yeah?
It's a funny old life, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah, make sure you go check all those things out. Particularly go check him out in the King of the Ring tournament because, you know, obviously I'm no longer in it. So
got to represent the UK now. You've put this all on me.
Exactly.
So much pressure.
Got to represent the Brit Club. So come on, you've got to go and sort this out. You've got to rectify this problem. So don't let the team down. Don't do it.
I think you need to change this losing gimmick. It seems to be your thing now.
Yeah, that's fine. It's record breaker, isn't it? Record breaker. I was like 2 and done in the.
Are you having a match between you and Tony to see who comes in last place?
Don't know. I really should probably ask him that, to be honest. But then I'm a bit worried that I might lose that as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be good to get a win in there for you, but if you lose it,
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. With online, I like before this tournament, I never ever played online. We did a couple of practice matches and stuff, but I just.
one. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, all right. But I just kind of can't. I find that the delay, even if it's a slight delay, I just find it all a bit like I just can't get used to it. Like, I'd love to have a proper tournament somewhere where we all sit down and it's like, you know, there's no lag, there's no nothing, there's no nada, and then see how we get on, because I'd feel like much more comfortable that I could reverse finishes, because that's always my fucking downfall. I just can't get my finisher off. I just can't do it, and I can't reverse the finishers either. So, you know, as much as hard as I try, you know, I feel like I'd have a much better opportunity if, you know, these tournaments just came to me.
When every time I watched you, though, it was like you had the finisher there,
It's
you had
there.
the signature there.
He's there.
You never used it.
I know.
What was the point?
I just never have any stamina. The Undertaker was just absolutely shattered, mate. He's like, he can't deal it. He can't do it. It's just, you know, I was trying to pull a signature. He don't want to do it. Nah, he's like, sod that. I'm too tired. I just want to rest in peace. And that was the problem. In most matches, I'd get the momentum. I'd get to where I want to go. And then I just can't pull off the move. Or I do pull it off, and they reverse it. And that look, you have to be honest with me. We had a match prior to one of my matches in the tournament. And I felt, you'll probably disagree now we're talking live, but I felt I was in control for the majority of that match. And then it just got to a point, and I had a finisher and everything like that. And all of a sudden, you've got a finisher and you've beaten me. And that's the way that I roll. I just can't pull off the finishers.
Well, I think it was just a case of the match where you had the practice match. you kind of went well competitive. You were sort of moving towards us to go for a grapple, backing away. I wasn't expecting that. Like I played Big Red and we had just a regular match. You went all competitive, and when I figured that out, obviously tables turned. And you had that tombstone in your locker. Just didn't have the combination.
I know, that's the problem, and I think that's the big issue. Is online you have to be like really tactical in terms of just understanding lag and stuff like that, and I just think like it'd be awesome if we had a tournament one time where it's just going to be difficult to do, but maybe from a UK perspective we can get something sorted. And if everyone's in the same place, if 2K are listening, then we could get a tournament where we're all in the same place and there is no lag issues anymore. And maybe, just maybe, I can get a victory.
Well, I'm not going to hold out for that one.
You should have seen the match that I had online as well prior to playing Big Red as well, where I kicked out of like 4 finishes from some zooped up CAW that I was playing and I was the Undertaker, right? I did a catching tombstone on the outside. I was on fire. I still lost.
Why did you do it on the outside? No wonder you lost.
The lag, mate. The lag. I was just trying to get out.
What, you lagged to the outside?
Anyway, that's what I'm saying to you. I was on fire, but I still fucking lost. So
you need to watch Yard's videos. He'll put you right.
No, I'm sure he will. He loves those tutorials. He does. He loves putting them together.
But he'll show you where you went wrong, and then for next time.
I actually listened to his video. I did take his tactics on board.
It's good. I took a lot of advice from it.
Use the stomps. But I mean, the reversal thing's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Let's be honest. The reversal stamina, storing your fit, and you can't reverse certain moves.
It is a pain, but at the same time, I think if you took that out now, then with the mid-move reversals, matches would never end. It would just be constant, just reversals over and over again.
That's fine.
Because you wouldn't win. You wouldn't lose, would you? You wouldn't win either.
That's fine. But yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I'd probably, if I was religiously playing it online, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, I like playing the game, but 90% of the stuff that I do, and probably like you do, I never really see out a match. I play it for the bits I need, and I never finish the match. So I never get to the point of having a finish.
Well, I think that's why I'm so bad at pins, because I never seem to play anything where I get pinned in the end. I always seem to win. It's always quite easy if I'm doing showcases. So I think that's maybe something I work on, pinfalls.
Yeah, I mean main event, we predict those finishes. we book it. So I don't know. But anyway, speaking of main event, make sure you go and check it out. It's up. It's up now. It's already up. It's Monday, isn't it? It's Monday. It's Monday.
It was up on the weekend, man. Get with the times.
I know. So it's already out. Go and check out this week's main event where we got some big storyline developments. We're building to our next pay-per-view, which is Redemption. All custom, custom arena, custom promos. I feel that the artwork for this pay-per-view is probably the best artwork that we've done so far. So
except for the fact that you killed Asuka.
I did kill Asuka in the process. Many people have pointed this out to me. You wait till you see the actual proper thumbnail for the pay-per-view of who I've killed next. It's brilliant. It's great stuff.
It's gonna be gruesome.
It is. But yeah, I think, and actually I probably might as well just get this out there because I'm bound to get loads of comments on this next week. Redemption comes in the foreseeable future. So we take the break now and we work on the pay-per-view and we build that time in between. It's not coming next week, but it will be coming. This gives me time and this gives my brother time to sort out what we want to do with this pay-per-view. So don't expect it next Saturday, but it is coming. Okie dokie. We just had to get that out there because I know what I'm going to get next Saturday. I'm going to get, where is it? And I'm going to be like, it's not going to be there.
I'll probably be the one asking you.
Yeah, it's just spam the comment section. Where is it? But yeah, it's good to see that everyone wants to see it anyway, so that's exciting. So I guess that brings us to the end of this week's We Talk. Let us know about all the comments that we've discussed. And Paul, are you gonna catch us later?
Catch you later.
I'm not sure what that was, but it sounded all right. So this is Delzinski and Smack Talks for another We Talk, signing out.
Hi wrestling fans and gamers, Velvet Sky here, and I just want to say I've been hearing a rumor that Delzinski.com is the best place for video gaming and wrestling content.